It's time for the Loco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj.
Hey, Loco sports fans. Happy Thursday that feels like a Friday, kind of, because it's the first day of my spring break. It is spring break for many. They're in the throes of it, and it is also the start of the RBC Heritage. It feels like a Friday night vibe tonight, even though it's Thursday at the Heritage, and that means we have three more. Yeah, a little bit. I can see that. But I was at school today, so it felt like Friday for me. So I guess your results may vary, but regardless, we have the whole crew here. Wes Kerr snuck in the back door at the last second.
I was a game time decision. I was just dealing with some just side effects from the day. Took warm ups and decided that I was good to go. So I'm in tonight and looking forward to recapping what was a tremendous first day of this tournament, and mostly punctuated by the play of Mr. Justin Thomas, which I'm sure we will get to. Yes.
So we're going to talk a lot of Heritage today because that is, kind of not the only game in town, because I'll tell you, Los Canes had a big one tonight at home against Ridgeland, and it came up all orange and green in the Ville tonight. So Jasper County, we painted the county orange and green tonight. We'll talk about that a little bit. Like you, Wes, I wasn't a game time decision, but kind of because I was hustling in. I am oceanfront in Daytona Beach. My wife, who is our planner, decided that we were overdue for a little getaway, so she went on the internet, as she does, and found the best deal she could find that made sense. And we're in Daytona for the weekend, which I don't know. Family, Daytona Beach, spring break. I don't know if it makes sense or not, but we're here for a good time, not for a long time, just for the weekend. We'll try to make the best of it. It's beautiful weather down here. I'm sad that I'll be missing the Heritage this year, but it's just the only weekend that made sense for our family to be able to get out of town and just kind of recharge. So we're grinding it. Nonetheless, I'm here in my Party Animals jersey, very well received at school today. I got a lot of compliments and checking out Daytona this weekend. But my heart at home with the Heritage. And Wes, you said you were out there today. Max was out there today. Marcus and the Funky Bunch are getting out there on Saturday. People are looking for tickets. If you have tickets you need to sell, let me know. I got multiple people asking me about those. So, but it was an interesting day. We've seen this a lot in the Heritage, where Thursday the weather is very tepid in the morning. The wind is light. The course is gettable. It's soft, and then as the day goes on and the breeze starts to pick up and the sun shines and the course dries out and gets a little crispy toward the end, it gets tough in the afternoon. Not as dramatic as it was when it was the full field event, where you had waves in the morning and the afternoon, and that really was a factor. But nonetheless, the guys who got out early today were able to put some numbers up, and then the guys who got anywhere near them in the afternoon had to play some really good golf to do it, because it got a lot more difficult after lunch. But the story of the day, as you noted, Wes, Justin Thomas matching the course record, and had to feel like he left a couple out there. I mean, 59 was very much in play today. And, obviously, if he continues to play like this, let's refrain from saying, well, if he continues to play like this, he's going to win the tournament. Well, obviously he will. Let's go a little deeper than that. But what a round from that guy.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you don't expect him to put up another round like this, but just a tremendous display of golf, and the way he was able to maintain that throughout the back nine. That's not an easy back nine. We know that, covering this tournament for a long time, but he certainly made it look easy. I was there for the putt on 17, which was just sensational. Beautiful putt down the hill. It was a tough read, too. It went from left to right, but it was tough to judge that. But terrific read there, and great execution on that putt to put himself up to minus 10. And then, man, did he ever have a good look at the record from about like 7 feet on 18 after an outside approach. I'll tell you what, I was sitting up in the big bleachers, and man, it just felt like he was going to do it. And unfortunately, that last putt did not go, but still, quite an accomplishment to tie a record that was set originally by David Frost in
Right.
1995 era before my time. But Troy Merritt did it in 15, which I forgot about. But
Uh-huh.
he didn't win
Wow.
it. He
I
was
did
he was
too.
right there before Furyk ended up winning that that in 15. I just totally forgot about Troy Merritt and what he did that year. But crazy to see to look at those two guys, the other guys who had that. I mean, certainly not the top of the line guys that both had more so. I don't know much about Frost. He was before my time, but Troy Merritt certainly someone that we haven't really mentioned since that event. So Justin Thomas certainly much more notable than Merritt was during his career, but that's besides the point. Putting a 10 under score on the golf course is remarkable and
Yeah.
takes impressive shot making and got to have a red hot putter, and he absolutely did here today. So Justin Thomas, I mean, looking like a factor. Obviously, he's not going to shoot that level of golf the rest of the way, but it's nice to have a 3-shot lead after day one. It's never easy to hold on to a 3-shot lead after day one, but this is where you'd like to be. However, Scotty Scheffler is right there.
Still the betting favorite.
He is.
Scotty's still the betting favorite. That's crazy. I just saw that.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. But let's see. Uh,
Thomas is now
Justin
plus
Thomas has
230.
the slight edge in probability at 25.7%. Scheffler at 20. Actually, wait. No, you're right. You're right. Scheffler's at 25.8. Justin Thomas is at 25.7. So it's pretty much even between
Yeah.
those two in terms of chances
Very
of winning.
interesting.
And then Russell Henley, who tied Scheffler, is next. But right now, it's looking like it could be a duel between those two. Obviously, a lot more golf to go, but those two are in a prime spot where they could be dueling out into the finish.
Yeah, Wyndham Clark coming in strong with 65, and I think he played a little bit later, so that was solid.
Yeah.
Brian Campbell, a guy that we were
Just going to mention
wholly
him.
unaware of until recently, but now we know. Well, when he won in Mexico earlier this season, people picked up on that on the broadcast. They said he was from Hilton Head, and I started asking around, and nobody knew what his connection was to Hilton Head. But now that he's played at the Masters last week and now playing at the Heritage in a home game, of course, some people have gotten a chance to ask him about that, and I did some reading up. So he's been here about 2.5 years, lives in Bluffton. He said over near Belfair, so I'm not sure exactly where that would be, but there's a lot of places over near Belfair. But he may be your neighbor, Marcus. You live over near Belfair.
I do.
And
Rose
he
Hill
trains out of
is
Colleton River. He plays
near
in
Belfort,
Colleton
too.
River.
Oh,
And
he could be very close to
where,
me because that's around the
yeah.
40 Island Road area.
Great place to have your home course too. That
Yeah,
Colorado
so
River course is beautiful.
I guess the article I read said he moved down here to be closer to his girlfriend. He's a California guy, played at University of Illinois. I'm not sure where his girlfriend, was at, but I guess he moved down here to be around her and likes the spot, which we can relate to. Colleton River, as you mentioned, two just phenomenal golf courses in there
beautiful.
that you can, and an incredible training center. I'm sure they treat him like a king over there, and it sounded like he had a huge following out of local, supporters out there cheering for him today, and he's right in the mix, sitting at 5 under. Just 5 shots back of Justin Thomas, shot a 66 today. He's tied with the likes of Matt Fitzpatrick, JJ Spawn, Gary Woodland, and Brian Harmon, who is also a local product of sorts, Savannah guy, grew up here in a way, made his PGA Tour debut at the Heritage in 2004, actually before he won the Players Am, and then got to come back
that early,
in
or that
2006.
like 21 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and like I said the other night, I've watched Brian Harmon grow up. Literally from this swashbuckling young guy who was, #1 amateur in the world and talking about wrestling alligators to the man he is now and the major champion. And he had it really cooking for a while today. and just missed a putt on 16 that I think, if he got that one down, maybe he makes one more coming in and he's right in the mix. But he's in there anyway. I mean, anybody within 5 or 6 shots at this point should be in pretty good shape.
Still a long way to go in this tournament. Obviously,
Absolutely.
Friday, tomorrow is a big day heading into the weekend, even though there are no cuts. And then the weekend's always fantastic. And again, we talked about it last night, Wes, Max, and I. The weather looks terrific.
Yeah.
And it's the first year in quite some time. And I used to go out there from 2014 to 19 every year. This is the first year that I've gone back out onto the course. Again, I'll be out there Saturday. First year since. But I can't remember a year where the weather for all the days of the tournament, Thursday through Sunday, looks as good as it looks this year. I'm hoping it stays true to form because it looks absolutely delightful.
Yeah, I mean, it was looked
man.
pristine. The groundskeepers do a great job every year. It seems, and it was in fantastic condition today. The weather was great. It was exactly what you want to see: 70 degrees, sunny skies. I mean, just it was great to be out there today, and great turnout in terms of the gallery spectators here. I'll tell you what, for a Thursday, sometimes it can be a little lean, but I will say that I really did follow, the bigger groups like Scheffler, and then over to Thomas there at the end when he made that run towards the record, the course record. But yeah, terrific group. I just feel like as this tournament has continued to grow, the spectatorship of this tournament has also grown, and you start seeing a lot more people come over here. It's always been popular, but I just feel like you're really starting to see continued turnout for an event like this, and
Right.
fantastic atmosphere as it always is, and it's going to only heighten towards as we get to the weekend.
Yeah, man. Should be, as you mentioned, a phenomenal weekend, a Chamber of Commerce weekend here in the Loco.
Yeah, a little warmer
Our
actually.
friend
It
Steve
was like only
Wilmot,
73
long time.
today. Yeah, 73 today. But I
Yeah,
think it's going to get to the upper 70s by the end of the weekend. So a little bit warmer weather, but
yeah.
no rain to speak of, at least now. So
Yeah,
Right.
same.
And as our good friend, longtime tournament chairman, tournament director, Steve Wilmot always says, the two things he can't control are the leaderboard and the weather.
Yes.
And the weather is looking phenomenal, and the leaderboard is looking stellar as well, as we mentioned with Justin Thomas, big time player, sitting at the top after matching the course record with the 10 under 61. 3 shots ahead of Russell Henley and Scotty Scheffler, defending champ. Wyndham Clark is 4 shots back, and then Hilton Head or Bluffton's Brian Campbell. Hilton Head trying to claim him. He's from Bluffton. Brian Campbell, Matt Fitzpatrick, former champ, JJ Spawn, Gary Woodland, and Savannah's Brian Harmon, all at 5 under. And then tied for 10th, you've got a ton of guys, including Matt Kuchar, who you wrote on this afternoon, Max. I'm going to be editing, writing from both Max and Wes on today's round and putting that up on LowcoSports.com a little bit later on. And I've also got a notebook scratched together on that. So we'll have a lot of coverage of the Heritage over there. But Matt Kuchar among them at -4, along with Keegan Bradley, Patrick Cantlay, Tommy Fleetwood, Jordan Spieth, Justin Rose, Max Greiserman, who I'm hearing is as an up-and-coming name. So a bunch of people still within shouting distance, and tomorrow will tell a tale.
Yeah, but I mean, I going back to your point about Brian Campbell, this was someone who I never really got on my radar, but now it says you can't trust every source, but I'm guessing I'm trusting you that he's from Bluffton. I know some sites are saying he's from Hilton Head, but
yeah, no, I mean, I read
I
read his actual transcript of his interview where he said he's from Bluffton, or he lives in Bluffton over by Belfair and plays out of Colleton River.
He's won already this year. He won the Mexico Open. So he's already tasted that victory feeling this season. He won a playoff back in February.
And he had a
And
good
so
showing last weekend. He made the cut at the Masters
Yeah,
and finished with a
yeah,
68.
too, yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
So he's playing well.
Yep.
He seems to think that the place suits his game pretty well. He likes his short game, which is super important around Harbor Town. He said he had a little trouble adjusting to the greens at the start of the round today. Surprisingly, despite living in Bluffton for like 2.5 years, he had never played Harbor Town until Tuesday.
Wow,
Yeah, that's
His
crazy.
practice round Tuesday was the first time he got on it. So he said he had a little adjustment to the greens, coming from Augusta, totally different kind of grass and everything. But he said once he got settled in, he started making some putts. So he feels pretty good going into the weekend, or going into Friday at least, and hope everybody gets to go to the weekend. That's the beauty
That's
of
the beauty.
the limited field event. So my guy Tagala did not have it today. I hope he can turn it around tomorrow. He was struggling, but there's a bunch of guys in the mix. Who'd you pick last night, Wes? I missed the show.
Well, my picks are kind of flopped. I went with Morikawa, who had a pedestrian day. Corey Connors he kind of struggled. The best guy was my dark horse Harmon, who had a very good day. So funny how that kind of works out sometimes. You go with you keep an eye on this guy, and then you puts up a really good performance. And obviously Thursday you can have a good day and it can go to waste, or you can have a bad day and you can find in the weekend. It goes both ways.
Yeah, and I wouldn't count those guys out yet, like Connors and
Morikawa is
Morikawa and
more to
Shoffley
do. He
and
needs a big Friday,
Goldberg.
as you said. Friday will be telling. He
Yeah.
needs a big Friday, no doubt.
Yeah, those guys that get to go off early tomorrow,
Yep.
they need to make some hay,
Yep.
and try to get some, get up that leaderboard. But it's definitely far from over. My boss, El Presidente Rayleigh, checking in with the JT Roll Tide Roll. Roll Tide Roll. JT,
Well,
another one of the.
actually, regarding
I
Harding
can't
High
get it. I
School,
can't tell you all of that. It's just a different kind of grass, literally, like bent grass versus Bermuda, or I don't even know which grass they have at which place.
I think
I'm
it's
out of.
Bermuda.
Yeah, I'm
but I
not
could
sure.
be wrong.
I believe Harbortown has Bermuda greens, which are super grainy
Yep.
and harder to read, unless you're familiar with how to read the grain. I believe Augusta has bent grass greens, which have no grain really, not much. Doesn't play as much of a factor, and so the ability to and then Augusta is, I'm guessing, much faster than Harbortown. Even though Harbortown's rolling pretty fast, Augusta's rolling real fast.
Really fast. Yeah.
So that would be my guess, is the main differences. But it is an adjustment, and that's true in parts of the country too. Like Bermuda's
Yeah, of
not,
course.
it's not common like on the West Coast. So like guys from the West Coast, they come east and play Bermuda, and they're like, "What in the world is this grass? I do not understand what's
Right.
happening here."
Yeah.
So a lot of courses in the Southeast have tried to put in bent grass greens, but they're hard to maintain. It's hard to keep enough water on them when it gets really hot in the summer to keep them from burning up.
I'm just a hack, but I've even noticed some differences in the greens here
Oh
in the
yeah,
Bluffton Hilton Head area
oh
to
yeah.
where I grew up, because I've played some courses near Canton
Mhm.
and it's completely different.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
It's
mean
wild. Even the
we would
eastern
need
part of the
Mullis.
U.S.
We would need Mullis on here to give us the full lesson on
Yeah.
grass. He
Yep. Our
as he
grass
often
expert.
says, there's a fine line between culture and agriculture.
Yep.
Nice.
He
Well,
could tell us all about the grass. He could tell us all
Mr.
about
Mullis, the official grass expert of the Loco
of
Sports.
Loco Sports, no question. Grass, fertilizer, anything to do with grass, he's our guy. He's like the Bubba Gump of grass.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's shift gears for a little bit, and then I'll let you guys take it home, talking whatever you want to talk, and I will go check in on my family. But we did have a big soccer game tonight in the Ville, two, in fact, because we had the Jasper County Derby, the second leg, and we had the Jags come from up the road to the Ville, and Los Canes came out victorious. I don't know the final of the girls' game, but the guys' game was 3-1. All the scoring came in the first half. Got a little chippy in the second half, but they were able to keep it under control. Los Canes still have work to do, but they are in control of their own destiny to capture the region title, I believe.
Yeah, baby.
Nice.
So they just need to take out, I think, Denmark one more time, which is, they're a dangerous team. But we
Very
think
athletic.
they're quick. If you let them bait you into letting them go over the top. The girls are the region champs after a
9-0.
9-0.
Crap.
Ooh.
I told the boys I wanted destruction, but it
Booyah.
was the girls who delivered it.
We did have
9-0.
another region title on the line tonight for the Ville. The Hardyville High School boys baseball team was on the road at Bamberg today. A win for them would grab a share of the region title. Unfortunately, we did not get the win tonight. I was not there. I unfortunately had to work tonight, but Eamon kept me up to the date. Up to the minute, I guess would be the term for the boys tonight. Finding strikes was an issue tonight for the pitchers. So, we didn't have our best pitcher pitching tonight. He had pitched a really good game on Monday night against St. Andrews, which we came so close to having potentially that game.
Stayed in it for a long time.
We stood in that one, but tough game against Bamberg tonight on the road too. So, of course, that's even tougher to go on a almost 2.5 hour drive up to Bamberg, and
who's number 5? Who pitched?
That'd be Kyron.
Kyron went the distance today. Wow.
Must have, I guess.
Well, maybe not. That's Bamberg's game changer. They might have missed a pitch.
Yeah.
Change.
If Kyron, no, sorry.
No, he couldn't have.
Trent started the game. Number 4, Trent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they didn't.
The game tonight. Kyron probably came in relief.
That would make sense.
Y'all will love Kyron. He's got a nasty knuckleball. A really nasty knuckleball.
I need to get him back out and work him out again.
Yeah, we were on the road.
So Bamberg takes the region title, huh?
Yes, they do.
They did the same to us on Wednesday night, I'm afraid.
It's all cool. It's all good.
They're good, man.
Region runner-up in a home playoff game in your first season as a program. That's nothing to be down on.
Ashamed of.
Definitely not. They're the gold standard, and I told our girls last night. I know that you'll use this as motivation to try to beat them before you graduate. Like just one time before you graduate, just beat Bamberg.
You might see them in playoffs. That's always a possibility.
It's potential. I mean, we'd have to make it pretty deep. Because they'll be the 1 seed, we'll be the 2, so we'd have to both make it to lower state. It's a tough hill to climb this year, but we get to get a little taste of it and see what it looks like, and get back to the drawing board next year. Well, hey, I have not shouted out our presenting sponsor, Mickelson Law Firm, the original sponsor of LowcoSports. They came on board back in 2017 when I started just reporting on local sports again and trying to see what would happen. And they've supported us ever since. They're our official real estate closing attorney and the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. But they support all the teams in the Lowco and our mission here at LowcoSports. And they can serve you with all your legal needs. Mickelson Law Firm right in downtown Bluffton, our original sponsor and presenting sponsor of the LowcoSports Lowdown. And we've got some great sponsors joining them this year on the Lowco Booster Club. We got Hudson Seafood House on the docks, presenting sponsor of Under the Bus, and a great spot on Hilton Head. Probably a good wait this time of year, this week particularly, but it's worth it. You can go look at the sunsets while you wait, grab a drink from the outside bar, and then get you a po' boy Andrew style or whatever tickles your fancy. Seafood sunsets, cocktails, and more at Hudson Seafood House on the docks. I just made that whole read up on the fly. That was fun. And then we've also got Hilton Head Furniture. They've got some wonderful handcrafted furniture made just up the road in Hickory, North Carolina, brought down to Hilton Head to sell to you to keep in your home for a long time, because they've got quality furniture that lasts longer than the big box stores. So check out Hilton Head Furniture. And then HHI Windows and Doors. Your view to the low country, you got to improve it with HHI Windows and Doors, headed by our old friend, the state championship coach, Richard Barron from Hilton Head Prep. Moving on to his next career, and he's going to be a champion in the industry of windows and doors as well. So if you need windows or doors to improve your view to the low country, get with Hilton Head windows and doors. All right, boys. I am going to call it a night. Been a long day, and I'm going to kick off into vacation mode. But you boys talk Heritage to your heart's content and bring it on home. I'm going to go edit your writings and get them up on LowcoSports.com, and we'll see you again tomorrow night to see who's in the lead out at Harbortown. All right.
Yes, sir.
Sounds
All right,
great.
boys. Stay loco.
Later, guys.
See you, JJ.
Or later, Justin, I guess. All right. What else can we talk about? We talked about Justin.
Yeah, I mean, just your thoughts on what you saw, Max, and I got to watch some of it with you, at least when you're taking some photos. But first time as a media, as a full-time or full-fledged media worker for this Heritage. How was the experience?
Oh, it was fantastic. I was able to be inside the ropes on the course, being able to take pictures up close with the golfers, which is something I've never been able to do before, of course, because I've never been a media personnel for the RBC Heritage. Really cool experience. It's been a while since I've really done a full 4 days of a Heritage. So to be there on a Thursday, because usually if I'm there beforehand, it was on like a Sunday for the final round, like anyone else would be there for. If they just wanted to spend 1 day, come out on the final round and see who wins. But to be 4 days worth of RBC Heritage Golf, it's going to be really fun. I had great time.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it.
I followed Matt Kuchar around, who, as I wrote in my article, and you guys will see it tomorrow on LowcoSports.com, that he is a fan favorite of the Heritage and has been he's been part of the Heritage 20 times. This is his 21st RBC Heritage event as a player on the course. And his first one in 2003, which you'll see in the article, of course, he missed the cut, but has not missed the cut since, back when the Heritage had cuts and stuff like that. And he's great, and everybody loves when he gets onto the tee box. When he swings that ball, everybody yells "Cooch!" And
Right.
he's just a great golfer. He's not getting any younger, obviously. He's 46 years old. So,
Is he?
but
I
to
thought he
have
was older than that even.
no, he's only 46, believe it or not. But he's one of the older players on the at least at this week's event. The only other player that would be close to his age, I think, would be Justin Rose, who's, if I'm not mistaken, 44. So to
Sounds
have
right.
Matt Kuchar, who's been on the PGA Tour since the year 2000. I mean, guys, 25 years of Matt Kuchar has been playing on the PGA Tour.
Wow.
And it's really, really impressive to see him play. He's always had a great time on this course, a former champion of the Heritage, won it back in 2014, if y'all remember that amazing bunker shot on 18.
That was the
when
matchup that he had against Jim Furyk.
No,
That was that,
no,
or was that the previous
that
year?
the year he won, he was in contention with, I think it was Luke Donald, was the other one trying to catch up with him and lost by a shot, I think. In 2014, Furyk, I think, won either the year before or the year after.
I think it was. Well, I started covering it in either 14 or 15, or not covering the tournament, but doing
had
my
to
work
been-
for
when did
WHHI.
Furyk? Hold on, let me
So I
look.
think it was 13,
Yeah, let me see this real
because
quick.
I think that was the one year that I went legitimately as a spectator. 2013.
Let's see.
Sat
Furyk. He won in.
sat with my
Furyk
mom and
won in
dad at
2015.
Heritage Lawn. What's
Yeah,
that?
Furyk won in 2015, so it was a year after Kuchar
Okay.
had won in 2014.
Oh,
And Furyk had an amazing tournament that
I must
year.
have met up with my parents after my shift then, because
But,
we were there.
But yeah, as you'll see in my article, I wrote how much of a fan favorite he has been for the Heritage over the 20 times he has played the tournament here, and now in his 21st RBC Heritage. It's quite special, and you don't see a whole lot of players over the years who have played that many RBC Heritage events. He's up with a huge group of names, and I'm sure Davis Love III is among those in that group of players who have played an insane amount of heritage events over the years. So you'll see that, and I followed him most of the day. I got to see a few pictures, take a few pics of Scotty Scheffler along with Victor Hovland. Hovland did not have his best day today. I think he finished at maybe 2 under par. I'll have to take a look at that later. When I left at say around 2 o'clock ish, I left to head up to go and work up in Beaufort this afternoon, so I wasn't able to stay the entire day, and I feel bad that I didn't, because right as I was leaving, Justin Thomas was going on an absolute tear through the back nine, and he was just on he was on an absolute tear. And next thing I know, I look up at the massive board in the media tent, and he's at 10 under par. And it just happens all so quickly too. You know, it's just really crazy to see what he did today. But yeah, it's a great experience. I am so looking forward to more years of being able to be a media personnel and cover the RBC Heritage. It has been an absolute treat, and it's only been day one of 4 days of doing this, and it's going to be a great opportunity, and I'm excited for it.
Well, I've talked to a lot of colleagues that have been out there this week. Saw Jeremy Pope today. He was out there Tuesday. A little bit this morning. Maria Soden was out there this morning, maybe Tuesday. Obviously, I talked about Bob Stevens. He was out there Tuesday, coming back from his trip, and then he may have even been out there today. I know Lisa Richardson was out there today. I'm looking forward to, of course, getting out there Saturday and just being a spectator for a change. So a lot of our crew is going to be out there as well. Great tournament. It's one of the biggest things that Hilton Head does all year long. And certainly with us talking about the sports scene, easily one of the biggest things. I actually, a close, not necessarily close second, but another golf event that I've mentioned as well that I've covered and done interviews for, certainly, and I talked to you guys about it last month, was the Darius Rucker Intercollegiate.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Which I've been out a ton talking to Bob Patton and others doing that. So, this is the time for golf, especially in this area, and the fact that we've got a couple of guys that are near our area, Lowco stars, both Brian Campbell and Ryan Harmon. It's great to see, but what a start!
Yeah,
what a start!
I mean, what a great start to the tournament too. To see Scheffler went on a tear through the front nine. He was, I think he was at 4 under par going into the back
to
nine.
The back,
and,
right?
I think he went 3 birdies on the back nine to get him to 7 under par. I don't think he had a bogey today, if I'm mistaken. I'm gonna check real quick on the app here, see how he did. But I mean, first thing I knew, like through the first, I think 5 holes, he was already at like 2 or 3 under par through the first 5 holes. I mean, he started off on a heater.
Impressive.
And so he was 7 under today. Let's see, how did he do? Yeah, he didn't have a bogey. He birdied on holes 1, 2, 5, 6, and 9. So he was 5 under through the first 9 holes, and then he was 5 under through the first 9 holes. Then he birdied on 10th and 15th to finish out at 7 under par. And then Justin Thomas was unbelievable. He birdied on holes 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 9 through the front 9. And then the back 9, he bogeyed on the 10th, and then birdied on the 12th, 13th, 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Wow.
That is a total of 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 birdies on the day. Just unbelievable round from Justin Thomas. And if it wasn't for that bogey on the 10th, he might have the course record all to himself. He was definitely in contention for shooting a 59 today, and just came up just short of it. And boy, next thing I knew, I was sitting in the media tent when he went 10 under, and I was like, what's the course? Does anybody know what the course record is here?
Well, I checked online just because people were talking about it. I was like, oh, well, I didn't realize it was. I thought it was a little. I didn't realize it was just 61. I thought it was a little bit lower than that, but indeed it was 61.
It was me and a few guys.
I realized it after he joined that play on 17 that he was right there. I didn't realize at the time before that, but then yeah, I gave up my seat. I got one of the best seats in the house, which was right on the 17th green, and you could see the tee box and you could see the hole. It was like on the left
Yeah.
side of the bleachers. So I said, "Oh, well, I don't want to miss the potential record." So I went over to 18, and
Yep.
would have been great to see him hit that 7-footer, but still got to see him tie the course record, which is only set 2 times before. So that was really cool to see, and yeah, I mean, just those are kind of as I wrote on the piece that is coming out tonight. We talk about this kind of thing you say in baseball, but similar to the RBC Heritage, you never know what you'll see when you go there. Sometimes you'll get a spectacular chip, or there's always something crazy that you see when you go out there. And today it was just the phenomenal golf from Justin Thomas, who he has been around here for several occurrences at this tournament, and I feel like that he has had his eye on winning here. He's had
Yep.
some years where it has not been there for him, but I think right now he is really starting to find it, and I feel like he's going to be an integral piece of the puzzle here in this tournament, and I think he has a real chance at alongside Scheffler of winning this thing at this moment. But to see Justin Thomas play this great golf, I mean, I remember just a few years ago where he was on fire, and yeah, I don't think there's points where he kind of lost some of that steam, but now he's playing some fantastic golf, and now the question is, can he keep it going? Can he build momentum? Because it's one round and you got a 3-shot lead, but can you hold on? Because you can let it slip away from you quickly. Now the challenge is having to go in
Yeah.
the later window and carrying that momentum over, because it's one thing going out early and shooting a number, but can you back it up the next day? And that's going to be the
Right.
question for Thomas tomorrow.
Yeah, and the thing for Justin was last week he really struggled at Augusta last week. He finished, I think, in the top 35, I think, or top 40, and shot 2 over for the tournament at Augusta, and he really struggled throughout that tournament. And to see him shoot 10 under today here at the Heritage, it means that he's still. I think he's trying to figure out his game this year, and he's missed some of that game, and I think one of the things I think that helped him was him playing on the TGL earlier this year, being in that
Good point.
Yeah, that's
TGL thing.
totally a good that's a good call, because
And,
I'll tell you, I think that league was a big success in many different
oh, it
ways.
was great.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
fantastic. And I think him, along with, I also think Rory McIlroy, because Rory McIlroy was on the TGL as well, and I think that
Yep.
helped him a lot get ready towards
Kind of
major
focus on the
tournaments.
details.
yep,
Yeah, the focus on the details, and I think that's kind of what helped him at Augusta was him getting more reps in front of crowds as well. Because that TGO
Yep.
place, it gets rocking in there, and it's loud and it's raucous. And so to get that experience at the TGO, I think helped him towards Augusta, being able to handle the stress, the pressure, and everything like that. But I also think the TGO is helping Justin Thomas try to figure his game out, because he's struggled over the last year or so. He's had some struggles as of late with his golf game. But today he proved to everyone that he's still there and he's still worth watching. And so I'm excited to see what he can do for the rest of the tournament. But it's going to be hard to top 10 under par for a round. So
Right.
we'll see what he can do for the rest of the tournament. If he can keep playing well, not that well, obviously, it's going to be hard to be that good for 4 rounds. But if he can continue to play really well, he might be one of the favorites come the weekend to win this whole thing. But don't hate on the rest of the group as well, because Scotty Scheffler is not far behind him, and we know what he does when the weekend comes around.
right.
It's going to
So
be interesting just in terms
Yeah.
of the 3 guys that I took. Obviously, I took Scotty to win it, and then had Colin Morikawa. We'll see what he can do the next few days. And then Matthew Fitzpatrick. JJ alluded to it earlier.
he had a
We
good
talked
round today.
briefly about him. He had a really good round, and he's right in there too, near the top of the leaderboard. So, going to be
Yeah.
interesting to see what those 3 guys do heading into action on day 2 tomorrow.
Is there any other names that we have not mentioned from today through round one that would be worth noting as the next 3 rounds come around, starting with round 2 tomorrow. I feel like one of those names probably should be Jordan Spieth because he had a pretty
Yeah.
decent round today. When I left, he was at 4 under par, I think, as he was heading towards the 10th. I'm gonna check see where he finished today because I kind of lost track of all of who finished and where they finished. Let's see here. Where is Jordan Spieth? Yeah, he did. He finished at 4 under today, so he's tied for 10th. He's in the top 10 right now. He's a name worth noting as the weekend comes
start.
around. And we know how he can
Yeah.
play here at Harbortown Golf Links. He's done it. At one point, he did it 2 years in a row where he won the first one and finished second on a playoff hole the second time around against Matthew Fitzpatrick. So definitely a name to keep an eye on. Justin Rose as well. He's 4 under through round 1 today. He had a good round, and you can never say no to the guys who have some more experience on the PGA Tour. You can never say no to that. And those both, Matt Kuchar and Justin Rose both have experience on the PGA Tour, and it definitely helps when playing on a course that is as technical as this course. And people will talk about it, but this is one of the more technical courses on the PGA Tour in terms of not only your iron game, but also your putting game as well. It becomes extremely. That's where it becomes extremely difficult, and you got to be really good in those aspects in your short game and mid-range game as well. Who else is on the list? Shane Lowry finished at 3 under today. Lucas Glover 3 under. JT Poston 3 under. Jason Day, who we mentioned last week at the Masters, had a really good Masters. The first really good Masters I've seen out of him in a couple years.
Been a while.
He finished at 3 under par. Who else? Obviously, Morikawa and Schauffele, as well as Oberg and Victor Hovland, are all sitting at 2 under right now. So they got some work to do over the next 3 rounds to get them back into this. If they want to get there, they're going to have to put some work in. Corey Connors at 1 under par. He had a tough day today. He did not do super great. He bogeyed on back-to-back holes on the 6th and 7th. And then bogeyed on the 10th as well, but finished out with 2 birdies on the 15th and 18th to finish at 1 under par. But he struggled a little bit today. Hopefully he can find his groove. He certainly did find his groove at Augusta last week, so we'll see what he does there. Any other names of significance? Will Zalatoris and Ricky Fowler both at 1 over. So those are 2 other names. I was hoping Zalatoris would have a good round today, but he has not been able to get back into his game. He triple bogeyed on the 3rd today. He had a rough third on the par 4 at the 3rd hole. Bogeyed on 1, triple bogeyed 3, bogeyed on 12, and his only birdies were on 2, 15, and 16. So Zalatoris is still trying to find his golf game after that injury he had that took him out of the game of golf for quite a few months.
Some time. Yeah,
quite a few months. So a lot of names on this list, a lot of names, and sitting at the bottom. Oh, poor Nick Dunlap. He's 7 over through round 1. He had a tough round today, man. That's going to be really hard to come back from. But he's a great golfer, and I do really like Nick Dunlap. So we'll see how it goes. But the only other notable name I should mention, Tony Finau, is 1 over through the first round as well today. He did not have a great day.
Yeah.
How do tee times look tomorrow?
We can bring it
You have them here. Give me a second. Let me pull it up here. RBC round 2 pairings. Here we go. So I think it's the same groupings for round 2, but they're at different times. So let me check.
Guys that go off later day 1 normally go off earlier day 2.
Yes, it's flip flop. So
right. So round number 2 tee times. First tee time of the day of round 2 will be Carl Phillips and Ricky Fowler at 8 a.m. And then we start getting.
Ricky, don't lose that number.
Yeah, Wyndham Clark and Will Zalatoris at around 8:50. Jason Day and Tony Finau, boy, that's a grouping. At 9:10. Brian Harmon will get off at 9:55. Let's see. Oberg and Shoffley at 10:15. Morikawa and Thigala at 10:25. Where did Thigala finish? Oh boy, yeah, he finished at 4 over today. He did not have a great round. I expected a bit more out of him today. Justin Rose at 10:40. Who else? Brian Campbell, the local kid, at 11:20
Oh
tomorrow.
yes, that'll be cool to
With
see.
Sami Valimaki out of I think that's Norway.
Finland,
That's not
actually.
Norway. That's Denmark. That's right.
No, that's Finland.
Is it that? Oh, it is Finland.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I keep forgetting where he's from.
The
Matt
Nordic
Kuchar,
countries are very similar. The flags are very similar. So
very similar.
yes.
Matt Kuchar at 11:30. Who else? Where do the real guys get in? Matt Fitzpatrick at 12:45. Sung J M and Tommy Fleetwood at 1:20. The real group that everyone's going to be watching at 1:30. Victor
Yeah.
Hovland and Scotty Scheffler.
Yep.
Corey
So
Connors and Justin Thomas 10 minutes after them at 1:40. Shane Lowry and Jordan Spieth at 1:50. And the final grouping at 2:10.
yeah. So a lot of the guys
Berger
that
and
went
Gary
off.
Woodland.
A lot of the guys that went off in the morning today, now they have to brave the conditions in the afternoon. So that's going to be really telling. I'm interested to see how Justin Thomas does. 140 tee time. I mean, should be similar conditions to what we saw this afternoon. It's going to be a little warmer. So
And
I think the wind's going to grow a bit. So I think the wind's going to be a little heavier than what we've seen.
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to have to see some consistent play from Thomas. Obviously, you don't expect a number like we saw today, but if you can find a way to get a couple under par and play some solid golf throughout, you're going to find yourself in a good spot. But it's really cool, especially because look, Scheffler and Thomas are like right beside each other. How often do you see that in the early rounds, in rounds 1 and 2, where you have two favorites playing side by side? That's kind of cool.
Welcome to the
not very often.
the PGA Tour signature event, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, and maybe they plan this, maybe because I don't know how they choose the pairings for the first
I don't
two
either.
rounds. But they normally select them where you have some featured, because they have like this. They have featured groups on their streaming platforms where they pick a couple of groups, and normally they're high caliber guys. So I think that there is some say on the groups of how they're chosen, because you normally see some signature groups where you have three of the top guys together. In this case, two of the top guys together. You kind of see you kind of know where the best ones are. So, but to have them back side by side like that, I'm not sure if it's a coincidence or not, but it's kind of cool. Kind of cool to see that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we're going to see a lot of that this week. I can't wait to see how the final pairings group up for rounds 3 and 4. That should be very interesting to see how those pairings group up, and we could definitely be seeing the potential of Scotty Scheffler and Justin Thomas pairing up, and potentially both rounds 3 and 4. But we'll have to see what round 2 brings forth. I would say this: Justin Thomas, through most of his back 9, dealt with conditions today that he may very well deal with tomorrow when he tees off in the afternoon. So we'll see how he does. But like Wes said, the winds are going to be an interesting factor tomorrow, because it's going to be a bit more breezy than it was today. So we'll see how it goes for those guys. We can't forget, though, there is one guy who's also sitting at 7 under par with Scotty Scheffler, and that's Russell Henley. Who
forgot to mention him earlier.
Yeah, he birdied, went 3 under through the front 9, went 4 under through the back 9, birdied in holes 2, 6, and 7, and then 14, 15, 16, and 18. So through those last 4 holes, actually no, those last 5 holes, he shot 4 under in the last 5 holes. To get him at 7 under par. That's a really, really good round by Russell Henley, and see if he can continue that throughout the rest of the week. So a lot. It's a lot. It's a signature event, guys. We have the top golfers in the world all here competing, and someone's going to come out on top of this. We don't know who yet, but anything can happen at this point, because I did not expect to see Justin Thomas shoot 10 under today. I did not think that was going to happen.
No, I don't think anyone did. I said that in my my piece as well.
Yeah, but I would say
once
this.
again,
I would say this. In these kinds of tournaments, you can never know what's going to happen on these courses. And
Right.
it just showed today. Scotty Scheffler, we all expected to have a good day today, and he certainly did. He's tied for second place right now through round one. We expected him to have a good round and a good tournament this week, and that's why he's considered in terms of betting odds as the favorite to win the tournament by a country mile if you look at the odds and everything like that. But Justin Thomas, along with a lot of other players, are on the cusp of really making this interesting. And Wyndham Clark is sitting right behind them at 6 under. So we should definitely see how this will all shape up. But we still have 3 rounds to play, gentlemen, and it's going to get real dicey come the weekend. So I'm intrigued to see it.
Yep.
Have we done our last round of sponsors
It'll be
or
fun.
not?
I don't think so. I'm not.
We
I
haven't?
got
No.
to get some sleep. So
I think
we
JJ
can,
just did
yeah.
the first couple. Yeah, I'm
All right, so
pretty
we're gonna
good
do our
too,
last
actually.
sponsor and then our parting thoughts, and we're gonna get out of here, fellas. Base Hit Life, our baseball and softball themed apparel sponsor of LowcoSports. Live your best base hit life at basehitlife.com. Dr. Ambrose Cole, the official chiropractor of LowcoSports. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he will get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. The Reverence Wrestling Club, the official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind, our wrestling show that we do every now and then. If you're a young wrestler and looking to take it to the next step, go check out Reverence Wrestling Club. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country is floors so clean your feet will thank you. And of course, Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. And a lot of the Ridgeland and Hardyville folks will definitely tell you that Jay's Barbershop is the place to go. All right, gentlemen, final thoughts after round one, and any other thoughts that we have going on outside of the golf world, if possible.
Have a
We'll
couple.
start with you, Marcus.
Have a couple outside of the golf world, and one of them outside of the sports world entirely. But I'm going to start off with something that I'm very certain will happen tomorrow. And the Cleveland Guardians, who have started off with a little bit of a funk on this road trip, starting out in Baltimore, they lost 2 of 3, and they head to Pittsburgh for the weekend. I believe they're going to be taking on one of Hilton Head's own tomorrow, and Carmen Majetsky. Did I say that
Yes,
last name right?
Carmen
Yes.
Majensky.
I think, yeah, he's
Seahawks
starting against
legend.
Cleveland tomorrow.
Nice, very
So,
nice.
That'll be interesting to see. I mean, hopefully Cleveland can give up a few less walks, a few less homers. They're starting to elongate their starting rotation in terms of,
Yeah.
5 innings, 6 innings.
I
They've
will
even had a
say-
couple of guys go close to 7, which has been impressive. But gotta limit the walks, gotta limit the balls just in general, and certainly
Yeah.
have to limit the long ball for sure.
Yeah, I will say I have had the privilege and horror of going up, privilege as well as horror, of going up against Carmen Majensky back when
bet
I was
you
in
have,
high
yeah.
school. As a sophomore, my first varsity season, I had to go up against Majensky when the Hilton Head Christian Eagles took on the Seahawks of Hilton Head High School, and let me just say, it was a true honor to go up against a future and now obviously current professional Major League Baseball pitcher, and it was also terrifying because I just knew there was no way I was going to hit the baseball off of him, not a chance. It's different when you get to see someone who is going to go to the show one day, and certainly that was him. And I mean, at that time he was going to South Carolina, but I knew if he could get through South Carolina healthy, he was going to go to the major leagues, and I saw that when I had to hit against him, and he threw a high 90s fastball right up towards my face, and I knew at that moment I was like, yeah, you're gonna go pro, just wait. Yeah, that should be an interesting one tomorrow. What else do you got, Marcus?
The other thing I was gonna say, I don't know if either one of you guys are game show fans, but there was a while, when I was younger, instead of doing, it was actually before I got into sports and sportscasting, I wanted to do game shows. Rest in peace, the great Wink Martindale. who was 91 years old. He passed away the other day. He hosted so many shows.
That's
Tic
right.
Tac Doe was one of the
Yes.
favorites that I used to watch of his way back in the day.
Yeah, he's
And
a
one of the
yeah,
legends.
he's a game show legend, man. That dude is really good.
Tell you what,
Yeah.
I'm not as dated as a lot of these game shows, but I feel like when you look at the before my time, I feel like they were a huge staple of television back in the day.
Yeah,
So certainly,
things are changing for
yeah,
sure.
yep.
All
But
right, Wes. Parting
yeah,
thoughts.
there are a couple for me. First off, it was just great to get back out there at Harbor Town and be a part of this heritage and to witness what almost was big time history if we would have seen that puck go down from Justin Thomas, but still that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, um, there were a few things that came across my mind today. I'm trying to remember because I had one, but it's escaping me as of now. I totally forgot. Oh, now I remember. Lee Corso. Lee Corso is
I knew
Yeah.
we would
yep,
talk about him at some point.
yeah. He is calling it quits for College Game Day. He
I
was
can't-
obviously a legend on that show, legend at ESPN and college football in general as a coach,
Yeah.
but of course, made his headgear selections every Saturday. Whichever game that they were at, he put on the headgear of the mascot of the team that he thought was going to win, and became a larger than life tradition on that show and just college
Oh,
football in general. So, sad to see his run end at College Game Day, but certainly what a character he was, and I
He's got
wonder.
one more. He's going to do
One
week
more,
one,
okay.
August
Yeah,
30th,
August
and that's
30th,
going to
so
be
one more
his
to go.
his
Long time.
farewell
Yeah.
show.
I wonder
The,
where that if they have picked where that like what game it will be.
not yet,
Okay.
but I
intriguing.
read something today, and I'm a little bit biased towards one, but based off what I read, it's down to two choices for
Ohio
that
State.
opening week. It is either Texas at Ohio State or
Oh,
Alabama at Florida State.
Hmm.
I
And the
have a
thing
feeling
about
it's got to be Ohio State. It's got
the
to be Ohio
Yeah, and
State
I
because
I
believe
would
I
agree.
one
believe his
happened.
first pick was Ohio
His
State.
first
That would make
headgear pick was
yes.
Ohio State,
It
So
so
that would
it's
was.
be
got to be
full
Ohio
circle.
State.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. He played for Florida State
That's very true. And
way back
he
in the
coached
day.
at Florida State, didn't he?
So no.
Oh, did he? Oh,
So
I thought he did.
that is the only reason why they may say Alabama, Florida State. That's the docket. If it were
True.
me, I'm biased, of course, but I would say Texas, Ohio State for College Game Day Week
I
1.
would say that because it's the better game. Because I don't know
No
what Florida
question.
State's going to look
Yeah.
like as a team this year because they
A
were
lot of
pretty.
people don't know what Alabama's going to look like
Right.
either.
They were. I mean, let's be honest. Florida State was god awful last year, and I can't imagine what it'd
Alabama
be
wasn't
like
that
in a
great.
game against Alabama this coming season. But the transfer portal is where Florida State lives these days.
Yep.
So you never know. But Ohio State, I feel like that'd be the choice to go. I do agree with you. Like Florida State could be an option just because that's where he grew up as a player and
And that's
played
where
there.
that's what I read too.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
that is
slim pickings
interesting.
for Week
We
1.
will see. We will see what happens there. But I would think I would move towards Ohio State, Texas, just because A, it's the better game, and B, that's where he made his first headgear pick. And you
Yep.
can't
If
go
Notre
wrong
Dame
with
Miami played on Saturday as opposed to Sunday, that would be an option as well. But
well, that is a
they
good one.
play on the Sunday
But
nighter.
we shall see with that one. But yeah, it's hats off to the legend, the man himself. And even when he leaves, I want to see them continue doing the headgear pick. I want to see someone do it in his honor.
Do you think it could
Pat
be?
McAfee.
Yeah, I feel
It's
like
gotta
that
be
could be the
Pat.
guy. Has that
Right up his
personality.
alley.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
I think
he's the guy to keep it going.
I think he was brought in to kind of fill that role with Lee Corso, because even
Yep.
though he's retiring now at 90 years old, for the last 5 or 6 years, he's only done, so it's like a 3-hour show. He's maybe done 45 minutes of that entire show.
Yeah,
He
these days
has
he
had
has,
his role because of his health and just getting older. He's had his role reduced way back.
Yeah, I have a
So
comment here. I have a comment here by Kevin, and he makes really good point here. Ohio State is the defending national champions. That's
yes,
also another one to put into play with that
Yes,
situation.
indeed.
No
That would make
question.
more sense.
Especially because Texas was also in the Final Four as well. So
They-
that's also another thing to put in play: a Final Four team versus a
well,
defending national champion.
Yeah.
So
you gotta remember this, that who did Texas lose to in the playoff?
Ohio State.
It was Ohio State.
That's very
Yep.
true.
And that game was
God.
pretty dang epic.
Yeah, no, throw Florida State out. I'm not even gonna think about Florida State, Alabama.
Yeah,
at
it's
this
got to
point,
be
'cause
Texas, Ohio State.
There's so many coincidences with this game on week 1 that there's no way they don't do that one. But I couldn't see them doing Florida State, Alabama over
That would
Ohio State,
Nope,
Texas,
I agree.
especially with all of those.
that would
But,
mean Chris
100%.
Fowler and company are there.
Wes, you got any other parting thoughts?
That was my main one, but you did mention Florida State, and so I just wanted to send my condolences and strength to
Oh
that
gosh.
community
Yeah.
for the tragic shooting, which unfortunately occurs too often in today's society. Just really saddened to hear about
It's hard.
what took place today on the
Yeah.
campus of Florida State University. So just say
Yeah.
my thoughts to all the students, all the faculty, and everyone there in Tallahassee, and hope that you hope we don't see something like that again. But just keep all those people in that community in our thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right
yeah,
on,
that's
Wes.
just a heartbreaking situation. And like Wes said, this happens. And I hate going into politics because it's just something I hate talking about, but this has often happened way too much in our country. And I hate saying this, but it's about
Doesn't matter
time
who
that-
leads the country either.
It's about time that our government does something about it. It's just ridiculous, and nothing's been improved on the matter. And it just keeps getting worse and worse as every year goes on. And I'm
Yeah.
sick and tired of it. I remember when I was in high school, and the shooting that took place at that Florida high school down, I believe it was Stoneman
Parkland.
Douglas High School,
Yeah.
or yes, yeah, that's the name. And one of my fellow high school graduates, she had moved from that high school to Hilton Head Christian Academy right before that shooting took place. And
Wow.
I just when I walked in that morning and I heard about it, I just couldn't help but think any friends that she may
Yeah.
have had that were in danger. And that is just the heartbreaking reality of
Yep.
what goes on with this situation. And I'm sick and tired of it. And I think a lot of other people within the country are sick and tired of these situations as well.
Yep.
Not only on high school campuses, but college campuses too. College
Everywhere.
is supposed to be the experience
People
of
in
a
movie
lifetime.
theaters.
Right.
College is supposed to be the experience of a lifetime, not the most threatening part of your life. I mean, it's just
Right.
it's ridiculous. I find it's extremely stupid, and I don't understand why these situations cannot be changed and made better than they are right now. And I just find it ridiculous. And I had to get that off my chest when Wes mentioned that. I knew I had to say something in regards. And something needs to be done. It's ridiculous that we have to
Yep.
hear stories about this more often than not throughout a year. And it's heartbreaking. So Wes, I appreciate you for
Yep.
recognizing and mention that out.
Yep.
My parting thought, I'll go on a different note. I'm going to go baseball route. The Rockies have relieved their hitting coach, Hensley Mullins, of his duties, and their replacement for him is former Pirates manager Clint Hurdle.
Oh wow.
Is going to be the
Wow.
new hitting coach for the
Crazy.
Colorado Rockies.
Wow, Clint Hurdle. That's a name I remember many years ago when he coached the Pirates to the playoffs, and
That
they had a
dude was
really-
that dude was like a tea kettle when he was a manager. When he got angry, boy, did he get angry. And his
Correct me
face
if
would
I'm
get
wrong,
red
but
and
didn't he coach or manage in Colorado as well? Where
I
was he
believe he
before
managed the Rockies
Pittsburgh?
to a World
he was
Series, I
in
believe, and when
Pittsburgh.
they lost to the Red Sox in 07. Is that
Oh,
correct?
07?
Hurdle left Pittsburgh, and then in 2021, he was a Rockies manager back in the
Yes.
early 2000s or late
Yes.
2000s, actually, when
Yep.
they went to the World
Right.
Series.
Yep. They got
Forgot
to the
about
World
that.
Right.
Series and the
That's
Red Sox
exactly
swept
what
them.
And
Yep.
Wes was just
Yep.
saying against
Yep.
his
Boston.
most recent
07. I
stint
remember it
was
well.
he was a special assistant to the general manager for the Colorado Rockies back in 2021, and that was his last stint. And then they've called him back to be the hitting coach for the Colorado Rockies, and I think that's
That's a
great
good move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a great move for the Rockies, who have struggled over the last few years in trying to find decent offense. And I think Clint Hurdle could really help Chris Bryant, who has really struggled in his hitting game as of late. Someone who
Is-
needs to get
Chris
back on the
Bryant
right
is not
track.
the same as he was. No doubt about
How
that.
long
he's
has
not.
he been in Colorado? It seems
Too
like he's
long,
been in
man.
Colorado for about 5 years and he
Yeah.
hasn't done anything.
Well, you
Right.
just never.
Since he left
Well,
the Cubs,
because
this is not-
he was with the Cubs, and then he went over to the Giants. And I can't
That's
remember
right.
how long. he
Oh,
was with
that's
the
right.
Giants
He was
for.
with
Yeah, I
San
forgot
Yeah,
Fran
he was
before he
with
went to
the
Colorado.
People
I
forget
forgot
he
about
was
that.
with the Giants because nobody really talks about Chris Bryant anymore because he's been obsolete from Major League
Right.
Baseball for
Mhm.
a few years now.
Few years.
And if anyone could get his hitting back in shape, I feel as if Clint Hurdle might be the answer for that. So I hope that's his case because I do love Chris Bryant. I think he's a great player. He just needs to get a push and get back on the right track. But
Clint
that
Hurdle,
was
the
my
Chris Bryant whisperer.
yeah,
Oh,
that
yes.
was my only parting thought. Apart from, of course, I alongside Wes Kerr, we will both be at the RBC Heritage tomorrow for round 2 coverage, and we cannot be more excited to be back on the course tomorrow morning.
And then
To
I'll
watch.
actually double duty tomorrow. I will not just be at the Heritage.
Oh my
I'll
God,
also
that's
be
right. You'll be at USCB
yes,
softball tomorrow.
yep, softball, a big
As-
game against Aiken. USC
yes,
Aiken, first game of that series. So yeah, another big day. So I got to get out of here and get some sleep, and hopefully feel
Yep.
more energized tomorrow.
absolutely, and
You
so
guys
do
have
I.
fun
'Cause
out
I
there
think
tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, I will definitely be having some fun tomorrow morning. I'll keep everyone posted. Actually, tune in tomorrow, early tomorrow morning. If you're up early for a cup of coffee or just to get ready to head over to the Heritage, I will be streaming a live coverage of on my YouTube channel, Mad Max Broadcasts, where I'll be doing a review, a recap, I guess would be the right words, of round 1 coverage and give you the insight on what round 2 should look like across the board tomorrow. And you can definitely watch the live stream on my YouTube channel.
What time's that
Mad
going to
Max
be?
Broadcasts. I'm probably going to be doing it at 7:30, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning when I
Okay.
get to
I'll
the
be up.
media tent and set up that. So you can definitely watch me on there. I'll probably have
Got
it
a
on Instagram
morning
as well
appointment.
under my channel as well. So you can definitely watch that just to give me something to do to get myself ready for the day and
Get you going. Get you psyched.
couldn't be more excited to be out there for round 2 tomorrow. I'm sure the rest of the group is as well as our fellow Loco members, including Beaufort County TV, who myself and Wes both saw today. Our good friend Chloe from Beaufort County TV
Yep.
was out there today. I'm
great.
hoping my best bud Matt over from Beaufort County TV will be out there
Matt
tomorrow.
Golden.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Matt Golden.
Yes,
He's
Matt Golden.
got the
Great guy.
flowing
Great guy.
locks.
He's the resident Clemson Tiger fan.
Yeah, man.
If you
I
weren't,
hope he's
if you're not the biggest Clemson Tiger fan, he certainly.
right. Yeah. So hopefully we will be seeing a lot more of our fellow low country and Savannah area members out there from media personnel tomorrow, as well as of course the national media news that will be out there as well tomorrow afternoon and early tomorrow morning, because a lot of them get in there real early, get some breakfast,
Can't wait to
and
see
get ready for the day.
the burger that Riley Miller made.
Yes, absolutely. So we will
Scotty
be
Scheffler
with
burger.
you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we will come back here on LowcoSports Lowdown to give you what all went down in round 2. Tomorrow night, probably 9:30, same time around there. We will see, and we will let you guys know as we get closer to that time tomorrow night. And yes, absolutely. We are big fans of Chloe G and Matt Golden from Beaufort
No
County
doubt
TV.
about it. They've done a
Shout
lot
out
of
Kevin.
stuff, especially Matt, for us at WHH
Yes.
the last
Yes,
couple
he's
of years
done a
too.
lot of stuff for us. So I think we're all very tired.
Did
So I
them
think
both.
that's going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate you guys for watching. Our viewers, thank you so much for continuing to support us. Thank you to our sponsors for continuing to help us go and grow. And we will see you tomorrow night to recap round 2 coverage of the RBC Heritage, the 56th running of the RBC Heritage.
57th.
And we will
57th, all right.
57th. It is 57th. My
Right.
apologies. And we will see you tomorrow night. So for Marcus Walsh and Wes Kerr,
And
I'm
Justin
Max
Jarrett, who
Rod,
was there earlier.
and Justin Jarrett.
Can't forget JJ.
It was like forever ago that Justin was on, and Justin Jarrett as well. We appreciate him from coming on with us live from Daytona. So from everyone here at Loco Sports, we thank you guys for watching the Loco Sports Lowdown. We'll see you tomorrow night. Until then, go Loco.
The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LocoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Loco!